Peoples of the world, hear me! Hi, friends! Today we're talking about crafts. So for Mother's Day, we thought we would do a craft for our mother because apparently people's on the internet told us that, you know,
that it's easy to do.
That DIY stuff is very in, very trendy.
Yeah.
So we thought, hey, why not give it a shot? So we were trying to figure out what we were going to do. And we came across a lot of people who were doing tinted mason jars. So you buy a mason jar and then you tint it. And we're like, yeah!
It's so easy!
That sounds amazing!
It's gonna be so great!
So we were at the craft store and we found these guys, which are Mod Podge Sheer colors.
Ooh.
And we also bought a green one as well.
They come in a variety.
They come in
of
a
colors,
variety
yes.
of colors. Good one, man.
Thank you.
So we thought, hey, these just made our lives so much easier, right?
Just pour it in, swish it around, let
Swish
it
it
dry,
around the jar,
and it's that easy, that simple.
No,
Wrong.
incorrect.
Wrong.
Okay, so literally everywhere that we found, there are no instructions on how to actually do this
Successfully.
so
that it works.
There are not instructions for it. Like I scoured like the product site, I scoured YouTube, I looked
Scoured.
high and
The
low.
universe was scoured. So we figured that we could just make
We
one.
would make one because we couldn't find
We couldn't do it.
an actual
Yeah.
a good tutorial using these guys that actually shows you how it's going to work. So a lot of the other tutorials that I found used Mod Podge, but just like the regular kind with food coloring, and a lot of them had instructions for how to do that, which is fine, but these are not the same, and they don't behave the same way, so trying to use those instructions led to failure.
Much failure. But luckily, these things are also water soluble. So, if you screw up, like we did multiple times, you can either rinse it out, which we did once, or you can literally peel it off once it's dry.
because it's just glue, right?
It's glue. So we just peeled it off.
Yeah.
And tried again. So you don't have to go out and buy, like, new mason jars every time you screw up.
No.
Thank God.
Because
we would have had to go out and buy a whole bunch.
expensive craft.
Yeah. So we just...
So I think what the main issue with these guys is that it's really, really thick. So when you coat the inside of the jar, it doesn't just dry. It doesn't just air dry. We can't
air
do
dry
that. It doesn't work. We tried.
It didn't work.
We tried two different methods. The first, which is just you pour it in, swirl it around the jar until the entire jar, the inside of the jar is covered, and then let it air dry.
And it didn't
It didn't dry. We left it overnight. We left it for probably a good, 12 to 16 hours. It did not dry.
So the second thing we did was we tried to paintbrush it on because we thought, well, then it'll be like a thinner coating, which is fine. It did dry, but it was super streaky because of the paintbrush. So you had uneven parts. Some parts were darker than others. Some parts didn't dry. Like, it didn't work either. So finally we figured it out, and we're gonna tell you.
Let me tell you
what we did.
So what we did was you start with a little of this stuff goes a long way, and it's better to have to add more to the jar than to squirt too much in, and then you're just wasting it and letting it drain for a really long time. So you put a little bit in the jar and you swirl it around. What Megan and I found was that if you hit the side of the jar, that also helped move the Mod Podge around because it's thick, right? So if you hit the side of the jar, that helps it kind of move around. So basically you just kind of keep adding little by little until you've got the inside of the jars all the way coated with this stuff. Then you turn them upside down onto paper or cardboard or newspaper or whatever you have around and let it drain
for a good like 10 to 15 minutes. We let it drain.
We probably did 20 to 30 minutes.
Yeah, to let it drain, let like some of the excess.
Yeah. Because again, the more excess there is in the jar, the harder it'll be for it to actually dry.
Yeah. So then we preheated our oven 200 degrees and we put these mason jars in right here, upside down onto wax paper.
Like this.
On a pan. Yeah, like that, on a pan, on wax paper, in the oven for like at least 15 minutes.
Yes. A good 15 minutes.
A good 15 minutes.
And then
we took them out, turned them over.
They're going to be hot, so make
don't touch them. We tried that. Not a good idea.
Don't touch them.
Use towels or something. So yeah, so then we turned them over, put them back in the oven for, I'd say, at least 40 minutes.
Yeah.
40, 45 minutes.
Anywhere from between 30 to 40 minutes, depending on how thick the layer is. And
they turned out like this!
Actually freaking worked.
Show the blue one.
Which is kind of freaking amazing. I know
we were astounded.
Neither of us thought this was gonna work. This was our last ditch attempt. And the problem was that all the things that we had read, some of them talked about heating it in the oven, but most of them talked about that not being necessary. Most of them talked about just letting it air dry, which we found did not work at all. So if you want to use this product,
which is good, it turned out very well.
The colors are vibrant and dark, like much darker than a lot of the other Mod Podge with just the food coloring tutorials that I've seen. These guys are really nice. Lovely color,
but definitely in the oven. Definitely in the oven.
Definitely.
So 15 minutes in the oven, face down. 40 minutes in the oven, face up, 200 degrees.
You heard it from us first. We got your back.
We try to be crafters, but we're not really.
Yeah, we're like the most amateur crafters possible. So if we can do this,
so can you.
You can do this. So good luck with your crafts. I hope everything turns out well. And we will see you next time.